Hi friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel Daysi DIY. Today I'm gonna share with you guys an easy and beautiful home decor. I hope you guys enjoy. If you do, please don't forget to give me a big thumbs up. Thank you so much. For our first project, I'm gonna be using one wood sign that I got from Dollar Tree, and it's missing one piece on the side because I just cut the sign because I just did a project and I just need a small piece, and that's the reason why it's missing one piece on the side. And to paint it, I'm gonna be using the Rust-Oleum chalk paint on color white. I did first one coat and I just let it dry, and once it was completely dry I did a second coat so we can cover very well the letters. If you guys want, you guys can use the other side to do this project, but I just want those lines to be on the top of the sign. And I'm gonna be using two painter sticks and I just cut it to the side of the sign, and we're gonna be using also the handles. And to paint it, I'm using the Waverly anti-wax. I just did one coat and I just let it dry. And I decided to distress the sign a little bit with the same paint. The next thing, we're going to be using this beautiful wall sticker that I got from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to be placing it on the top of the sign. And I'm just using this Mod Podge to do one coat on the top so it can hold pretty well the sticker. And I did one coat and I just let it dry completely. The next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna place the two pieces of the painter sticks on the top of the sign, and I'm just leaving a little bit of the gap so we can put the handle. And to glue the pieces, I'm gonna be doing a combination of wood glue and hot glue for a strong hold. And I repeat the same step to glue the handle, and to secure the handle a little bit more, I just put a little bit of more hot glue on the back. I'm going to be using a few pieces of this greenery and I just place it on the top of the sign. You guys can just leave it without the greenery. I think it will look really beautiful too. And to hang this beautiful sign, you guys can use two pieces of the jute twine. I'm going to be using two screw hooks, and to place them, I'm going to be doing a combination of E6000 and hot glue. And this is how it looks, our project once we're done. It turned out really beautiful. I love it. But please let me know in the comments down below, what do you guys think about this project? I just want to take a minute to mention that today we're taking part in This Is My Thing or Esto es lo mío collab that is being hosted by the amazing Maria from Yetra Khreacioness and all these talented friends that they're participating with us today. In my description box below, I will leave the link of the playlist and also the link of our channels. I hope you guys enjoy. If you do, please don't forget to give us a big thumbs up. Thank you so much. For our next DIY, we're going to be using one clip cup that I got from Dollar Tree, and here's the item number if you guys need it. So to paint it, I'm going to be using the Rust-Oleum chalkboard paint on color white. So you guys can see I'm not painting that clip cup all the way because I want the color black to show a little bit. So I just did two coats and I just let it dry. Also, I decided to paint inside of the clip cup. The next thing, I'm gonna be using this wire jute cord that I got from Dollar Tree, and I'm just gonna cut 2 pieces, and it measured 4 inches if you guys need the measurements. So once we were done cutting the 2 pieces of jute twine, we're just gonna put the 2 pieces together, and we're just gonna start twisting the 2 pieces of jute twine together. So once I was done, I decided to use this jute twine that I got from Dollar Tree, and I'm just gonna wrap the end of the handles a little bit so it can have this finished look. So I just wrap it a few times, and once I was done, I just used hot glue to hold the jute twine. And once I was done, I just start folding the wire jute twine so we can give this shape of a handle, and I just create another one so we can have 2 handles to put it right here on the small basket. And to glue it, I'm just gonna use hot glue, but if you guys want a strong hold, you guys can use E6000. So the next thing, I'm gonna be using this adhesive board sheet that I got from Dollar Tree. It measures 8 centimeters long and 3 centimeters wide. So once we're done, we're just gonna remove the paper from the top. I'm gonna use this E6000 to glue it so it can hold a little bit longer, because I don't know if the adhesive that they have it will last. So once I was done, I just put a little bit of hot glue inside. So I'm gonna be using these stickers that I got from Dollar Tree, and I'm just gonna start spelling the word fresh. So once we put the word, we're just gonna use this Mod Podge to put it on the top of the letters so they can last a little bit longer. I just did 1 coat and I just let it dry. So once we put the adhesive board sheet, you guys can use a Rust-Oleum chalkboard paint on color white to distress it a little bit. And once we're done doing that, we can put a letters on the top so it can show way better. But if you guys want to distress the letter, you can do it opposite way and it will look really beautiful. And to display, I just used this wood palette to put it right here on the bottom to put our basket on the top. And this is how it looks our project once we're done. It turned out really adorable. I love it. But please let me know what you guys think. For the next project, I'm going to be using this wood tray that I had on hand. It's for my daughters and she had it for a really long time. So you guys can see it was already broken. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to be using this sandpaper so I can start sanding the edges of the wood tray, because you guys can see some of the wood, it came out, so it was not even. So I decided to sand it first. And to glue this part back together, I'm going to do a combination of wood glue and hot glue for a strong hold. And to reinforce it, I'm going to be using a little bit of more hot glue on the edges of the wood tray. So to paint it, I'm going to be using the Rust-Oleum chalkboard paint on color white that I got from Amazon. So I'm going to do first 1 coat, and once it's completely dry, I'm going to do a second coat. So you guys can see my daughter, she helped me paint this part because she was really excited because it's her wood tray and she wanted to help me in this DIY. Also, I decided to paint the edges of the wood tray and also the back so it can have a finished look. The next thing, I'm going to be using this image that I had on hand. I cannot remember from where I got it. I'm so sorry. So what I did, I just put my wood tray on the bottom and I just placed my image in the top and I just kind of trace it so we can mark it at the side that we need it. And to cut it, I'm just going to use my scissors. So you guys can see once I put my image inside of the tray, it was a little bit bigger. So the next thing that I did, I just marked once again the image and I just trace it. And once I was done, I just used my scissors to cut it. I'm going to use this Mod Podge that I got from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to do one coat. And I just decided to do first half of the wood tray with Mod Podge and put my image because it was a little bit bigger, and I just want to prevent the image has a lot of wrinkles. So I decided to do first this step, and it works pretty well for me this time. So once I was done, I decided to put another coat of Mod Podge on the top so we can seal the image. Also, I decided to mark a little bit the letters because it was kind of blurry to me. I know in camera it shows pretty good the letters, but in person it was pretty blurry. So I decided to mark the letters a little bit. Also, I decided to distress the edges of the wood tray, and I'm just using my marker to do this step, and it works pretty well for me. If you guys want, you guys can use any color black and it will look really beautiful too. And this is how it looks our project once we're done. Let me know in the comments down below, what do you guys think about this project? I think it turned out really beautiful. My daughter loved it how it turns out, and she's really happy that she has a new wood tray that she's going to be playing with it. For the next project, I'm going to be using this beautiful piece of wood that I had on hand. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to remove this staple that I had in one of the sides. I hope you guys can see it. And also, I'm going to be using a piece of sandpaper to sand it very well, especially the edges of the piece of wood. And to paint it, I'm using the Rust-Oleum chalkboard paint on color white, and I'm going to do one coat. And to paint it, I'm just using this brush that I got from Dollar Tree. Also, I decided to paint the back of the piece of wood so it can has a finished look. And to distress a piece of wood, I'm using the Deco Art Bright Metallic paint that I had on hand. So you guys can see, I'm just using a little bit of paint. And also, I'm just distressing the edges of the piece of wood. So once I was done, I'm going to be using this extra piece of paper that we just had from the other project that we just create. I just mark it very well so we can place it this way. And to put our image, I'm just using a little bit of Mod Podge. I'm just going to do one coat and I'm just going to place our image. And once I was done, I decided to do another coat of Mod Podge on the top so we can seal our image.
Like a bird on a tree, I'm just sitting here. I got time.
So once it's completely dry, I'm going to be using that Rust-Oleum chalkboard paint on color white to distress it a little bit. So you guys can see I'm just using a little bit of paint to distress it. I'm going to use this rub-on transfer stickers that I found on Dollar Tree, and I'm going to be using that word family, and I'm just going to be placing it this way. So I'm just going to be scratching it with my finger, and once I was done, I just removed the extra piece of plastic. And also I decided to use a little bit of Mod Podge to seal our letters, and I just did one coat and I just let it dry.
I'm just sitting here. I got time.
The next thing, I'm going to be using this jute twine that I got from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to be wrapping it a few times around. And once I was done, I just used my scissors to cut it, and with the remaining piece, I just tie it on the back, everything very well. I decided not to use hot glue just in case if I want to change the piece of jute twine, but if you guys want, you guys can use a little bit of hot glue to glue it. And this is how it looks our project once we're done. I'm gonna be using these beautiful flowers to put it right here on the top. You guys can put anything and it will look really beautiful. What do you guys think about this project?
Meant to be in the great outdoors, forever free.
And here's the second option that I have for you guys today. If you guys want to put something different in the top. For the next project, we're going to be using this wood box that I had on hand. I have that video on my YouTube channel, what I did step by step. I will link it down in my description box below so you guys can see what I did. The only thing that I removed was the handle. So the other thing that I'm going to be using these jewelry border stickers that I got from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to be placing it right here in the middle. So what I did, I just used a little bit of hot glue so it can hold pretty well. If you guys want to, you guys don't need to do this step. I know that adhesive that they have, it holds pretty well, but I decide to use just a little bit of hot glue. And I'm just going to be putting the sticker all around. And once I was done with the remaining piece, I just used my scissors to cut it, and I just used a little bit of hot glue to hold it, the remaining piece. And to paint it, I'm going to be using the Rustic chalkboard paint on color white. And to paint it, I'm using this brush that I got from Dollar Tree. So you guys can see, I'm just using a little bit of paint first to paint it. And I just did one coat and I just let it dry. And also, I decided to paint the bottom part so it can have a finished look. I'm going to use the Waverly chalk paint on color antique wax to distress it a little bit, and I'm just using a small piece of this bad sponge, and I'm just going to be distressing the borders first. And once I was done, I just distressed the edges of the wood box and also the bottom part. And once it was completely dry, I decided to use the Rustic chalkboard paint on color white to distress it a little bit more so I can blend everything together. So you guys can see, I'm just using a little bit of paint to distress it. And to put inside, I'm going to be using this Boxwood picks that I got from Walmart. You guys can put anything and it will look really beautiful. Or if you guys want, you guys can put a succulent and it will look really beautiful too. I have that other option for you guys so you guys can see. And please let me know what option do you like more. And this is how it looks our project once we're done. I think this planter, it turned out really beautiful. I just love everything. But please let me know in the comments down below. What do you guys think about this project? And here's the second option if you guys decide to put a succulent inside. What do you guys think about our second option? And please don't forget to see all the videos that all these talented friends that they're participating with us today. Thank you so much, Maria, for hosting this wonderful collab. So that was it for today's video. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, please don't forget to give me a big thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe and hit the bell icon to be notified every time that I load new video. And please don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Facebook. Thank you so much and have an amazing day.